Don't you dare be sour. Clap for your world famous podcast champs and feel the power. My mirror.
It's a hot take. Yes, it is, dude.
Even though I ain't messing with hot take, with the due day right now, goddamn. I'm pissed off and frustrated, son. But people, welcome to another episode of the Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. I am your announcer extraordinaire, basking my ambiance. I am Old Man Logan. Alrighty, and the host with the most, you guys know him. Simply put as Whiskey Sour Kenny. You know him as Craft Beer Kenny. You know him as Craft Beer Poppy. You know him as the other KG. But we know him simply as Ken Gardner.
I'm impressed that you remembered so many of those hashtags and usernames and whatnot. And let me just say, once all this pandemic stuff is over, we are opening up an establishment, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to call it T-Bar. We're going to serve our specialty pancakes called Slapjacks. And we're going to have a triple cheeseburger called the Reckoning.
All right. And last but not least.
WWE humor there.
Last but not least, producer extraordinaire, mix and masterer, video photographer, whatever you want to call it, the man in the middle, Mr. Joe Freeline.
I just wanted to whisper right fast that Raw's trash. That's all I just wanted to be like, Raw's trash. That's it. I'm not messing with tag team division at all. I'm very upset, very angry, very annoyed. I'm all the things right now, man. I'm not feeling these decisions with WWE today. I'm starting early with the Mcmahon bullshit. That's okay. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance, but I'm just not okay right now.
I think we just need to, for the beginning of this episode, before we get to the Golden Shovel, we just need to just start having the Mcmahon minute. Anytime there's some Mcmahon bullshit going on.
A lot of Mcmahon bullshit going on right now, bro. A lot of Mcmahon bullshit going on right now.
All right, so our listeners, y'all going to be kind of surprised because you're going to get this a lot earlier in the week than you normally do. Quite frankly, because we watched Monday Night Raw last night, and, we're on the road to WrestleMania, and there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of stuff going on that just does not make sense. It seems like it's a mad dash to come up with matches for WrestleMania, which is supposed to be a 2-night event again. And there's a lot of stuff that's just taking place that didn't make sense. But we're not going to start the episode with that. I'm going to pass it off to KG. And you know what I'm saying? He going to let everybody know what the topics is and what topic we're going to hit and when we're going to hit it. All right?
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, 9 days ago, AEW had their first pay-per-view of 2021. It was AEW Revolution. Did the switch on. They put it on a Sunday. Thought that was a nice change of pace from the Saturdays. One thing that stood out for me, obviously, was exploding barbed wire death match. I don't care about the aftermath. I mean, everybody's gotten their jokes in about the aftermath of the match. The sparklets that went off. Considering the era that we're in, I thought Moxley and Omega put on a hell of an effort. What about you guys?
I didn't get to see the match yet. I was actually going to try to surf the net, see if I could find it for free. Not gonna lie, just gonna give you 1,000% honest.
Free 99.
Free 99. But the constant that I've heard is that Moxley and Omega's performance during said match was solid. That just the explosions and whatnot was out of their control. So that was a bit lackluster. But outside of that, I heard their work rate was pretty good. So I'm gonna make sure I check that out.
I honestly thought the match was pretty good. The ending was very much so annoying for me because it was just a bad ending. But I think overall the match itself was actually a really good match. It was actually really, it was really actually a solid match overall. My highlight of the night, though, of all the matches, was actually the tag team match with MJF, Jericho, and Young Bucks. I thought that was an amazing match. I was impressed with. I was actually impressed with. I was impressed with the fact that MJF and Jericho didn't actually get over. Like, you know, I thought they was gonna get over, but it's good. It's good to see that they're actually giving the Young Bucks an actual run. So I was impressed with that. I actually liked Revolution a lot. I thought it was pretty good. Pretty good. So I'm a fan. I thought it was all right.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to overlook the fact that, you know, the night ended basically with Gilbert's entrance. That's in a sense what happened. But with that being said, like Joe said, to piggyback off of this, it was a better tag team match, honestly, than I was expecting. Just because Jericho and MJF haven't been a tag team that long. I would say it was one of the better matches of the night, honestly. It's always good to start with a hot opener on a pay-per-view. I think they delivered a lot of twists and turns. MJF hit the heat seeker or whatever. And I thought they were going to potentially win the title when he hit his finisher. It was a lot of, like I said, twists and turns. Jericho had both of the Young Bucks at one point in the Lion's Hammer. You say Lion's Hammer because, you know, well, actually, Walls of Jericho. Sorry, Lion's Hammer was old school when you put the knee in the neck.
Yeah.
Back, you know. But with that being said, I enjoyed the face of Revolution ladder match. I'm glad to see that Ethan Hart is back chest. You know, that was a pretty scary moment for him. Shout out to Impact. All jokes aside, it was good to see that Scorpio Sky got that W. They went with the swerve basically in a sense, because not because Scorpio wasn't deserving anything like that. It just seems like whenever they have a surprise competitor that person goes over. You know, Brian Cage went over last year at Double or Nothing for that ladder match to see who would face John Moxley down the line. And I want to say someone else won. They were surprised entering in the Royal Rumble match. But also, I'm excited potentially to see Rey Fenix and Pac versus Young Bucks. I think it's going to be a ridiculous tag team title match. I don't think they'll put it off until Double or Nothing. They might. You know, either way, they should get enough time to put on a hell of a show.
I absolutely agree that is going to be one hell of a match. Rey Fenix has been on a tear. I want to say it probably started with the match with Omega, and it's just been running ever since. I think we had to return to Pac shortly after that, and they became a tag team. He had the feud with Lance Archer, and it's just been going. It's been going. The train is running for him. Hopefully they keep utilizing him in this space where it's being highlighted, and you know, maybe he can end up being a TV champion one of these days, maybe AEW champion, who knows? But he has definitely been doing his thing. As far as Scorpio Sky being in that Face of Revolution ladder match, I know he ended up not winning that match against Darby Allin. So I did want to ask you guys, what did you think about it personally? Because I heard on social media it was kind of some backlash from the fans because they felt like that was the moment to properly and finalize Scorpio Sky. You know, because we've said it a couple of times before on a couple of episodes of ours that we felt like he was being underutilized. So what did y'all think about that as far as him not winning that match?
I think it's more so to build his character. What they want to do is to Scorpio Sky so that he actually becomes a viable heel. That's why they separated him from SCU altogether. But I think SCU is going to play an integral part in making him a better heel overall. But they wanted to develop him as a character because at the end of the match with him and Darby Allin, sorry about spoilers, he loses to Darby Allin, but he ends up snapping at the end and putting Darby Allin like a heel lock, like a heel hook or whatever, that like might have messed up Darby's whole like leg or whatever, and just, you know, just typical heel shit. But At the end, you could see him like smiling at the end, and not in the sense where he's like, haha, lunatic smile, like, I tweet, my bad, I lost it, which I thought was pretty cool. But I'm not mad at him losing. I don't think that they're developing his character too fast either, and I like that. Like, it's a slow build, and I like that. But I wasn't mad about him losing, though. I wasn't mad about him losing. KG, what you think, bro?
What you could say was that was a little bit of a heel turn, right? No, you know what? I've said Scorpio's definitely going to utilize. That being said, if this develops his character a bit more and gets some more TV time, it's the slow build, so to speak, because Darby's been a prominent figure on AEW. He's one of their first homegrown talents to, even though he worked and made his name, on the indies at the same time, as far as he was still so of an unknown to the casual fans on TV. But he's a prominent figure on that, on television. He had the AEW World Championship match. He didn't win, but he had some crazy match against Chris Jericho, where he's handcuffed, and he's still putting up a legit fight against this guy. And it's just like, he takes the TNT title off of Cody. He fought Cody to a draw at Fyter Fest, I believe, in 2019. And if they haven't been featuring Scorpio Sky on television like that, maybe that's why they did the title change, like I said, because they don't want to. They're not unknown to us, but if he's been on Dynamite in the last year, maybe I could count, I would say a max of 10 times last year you've seen Scorpio Sky on Dynamite. So maybe it's one of those things where they want to take a little bit more time and get the fans to know him a little bit more before they officially put the title on him, because I'd be hard-pressed to believe he won't get the TNT Championship come the summertime. I'd say he's probably going to be the next person in line to get that. But then again, there's a possibility that's not the case, because there's a new stable, ladies and gentlemen. MJF, FTR, Wardlow, Sean Spears. We saw the turn coming. I was wrong in the sense that I thought the rest of the circle was going to turn on Jericho. So maybe Darby Allin drops it to MJF, the TNT Championship. So we'll see. I mean, there's numerous possibilities in terms of talent depth, and that's what comes with positivity of not necessarily having a split roster, which we'll get into kind of with another company. What do you guys think?
I think overall, with especially with the way that was set up, was beautiful, because they thought they had the drop on MJF initially. If you rewatch it, there's like, oh shit, you got the drop on MJF, you about to get his ass. Nope, not at all. I am actually really concerned with how this is going to turn out for MJF, and like, is this going to be like what is the name of this stable? What are you going to call this stable? What is the name of it? How y'all gonna get all these championships?
I mean, it's like a souped up version of the Four Horsemen. Like, that's what I thought they were going with. I'm like, you already got Tully right there, so.
I was waiting for them to be like, I was waiting for them to do it, but I guess they're not gonna do it. I don't know. We'll see. And plus,
call him Main Street Posky.
I mean, I like that they did the turn in this capacity instead of the other way, because I'm sure everybody was kind of booking it on their own to think or to say, yeah, Inner Circle was going to turn on Jericho, as opposed to turn being Wardlow and MJF and them going and aligning themselves with FTR and Spears and Tully. But I didn't see that coming at all. But I definitely like that alliance. It makes a lot of sense. And you had Sammy come back, join the Inner Circle. And it's going to be one hell of a feud, man. So I guess we'll definitely see where this goes. But I'm looking forward to it.
So does that mean they're making MJF their Rick? Like, is MJF considered their Rick? Or is it Shawn Spears? Who's the Rick? Who's Rick?
I'm considering him as Rick for sure. Nobody else in that stable has that type of appeal or charisma. So, yeah.
Okay, so obviously FTR, Arn and Tully from the old school one. And then there Arn and was that Dean and Chris who were tag team champions at the Four Horsemen? Or was that Arn and one of those two?
I want to say Dean and Chris, but yeah, I think it was Dean and Chris.
Okay. Well then, damn. Is it 5 or 4 of them? Okay, no matter. It's 5 or 4. Okay. All right. Okay.
I mean, it's more of them for this. That's why I said it's like a souped up version of the Four Horsemen, like, because you got Spears and you got Wardlow right there, assisting. And then there's FTR. So that's 4. Wait. Yeah, that's 4. And then you got MJF. That's 5. And you got Tully as the manager. So that's 6. So not that Tully's going to get in the ring like that anytime soon, but.
Bro, he was just in the ring last week when they were playing against Jurassic Express. And he did a slingshot suplex, bro.
Hey, that was a one-time only, man. I don't need to see that no more.
Just make sure he doesn't get into the ring with Dolph Ziggler. The elbow drops.
Hey, Dolph on his way, man.
That kind of went over your head, didn't you? Or did you just take the high road?
I took the high road.
Oh, okay. I was kind of being serious.
Dolph is trash right now, and I don't mess with Dolph right now.
See, here you go.
I'm talking about Dolph being the Heartstopper. He's literally this generation's heartbreak kid.
Without the
you don't remember when he caused Jay Lawler to go to the
Jerry
hospital?
Lawler, heart attack. Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, no, he definitely don't need that. No time soon.
But with that being said,
gonna breeze right past that one.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, last night was some controversy on Monday Night Raw. They are your 11-time tag team champions, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. They went over Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. The consensus here was we were unhappy. I'll let one of you take the lead on it because I don't want to keep giving my opinion first, and I'll take the table scraps. I'm not. There's no Thanksgiving leftovers like Roman said. Roman Reigns said, if I could, I take leftovers. But go ahead. When do you want to start?
Joe, you want me to start or you want to start?
Go ahead, bro. You start.
Okay, I gotta rub my face a little bit here because I was frustrated, man. That booking was atrocious. I don't have a problem with New Day winning their 11th tag team title. You know what? Yes, I do. 11 times a random Monday Night Raw, we're seeing them beat the Hurt Business. Now, mind you, Hurt Business has been on a tear. They've been having some great tag team matches. They had one with Lucha House Party not too long ago. Xavier his star was rising finally. They're utilizing him properly. And even in said match last night, Shelton was on one. Shelton was showing he had a lot left in the tank, to quote the great Mark Henry. A lot left in the tank. Whole lot of energy, a lot of offense, looking strong. Oh, man, it was great. And only for them to have this great match and have terrible booking at the end. New Day, who we didn't know was in contention to, correct me if I'm wrong here now, what happened that they were allowed the opportunity to have the championship match?
Exactly. Keep going. Exactly. No one knew. Go ahead.
So, okay, so okay. All right, so I'm not losing my mind there. Just a random tag team championship match happening on Raw last night. Long story less long, after a great match, New Day wins. Okay, cool. We know New Day, they are who they are. They've been big stars, big for the tag team division for several years now. But we're approaching WrestleMania. We have no mention whatsoever of Hurt Business getting a rematch. Where's the rematch clause? It's not mentioned whatsoever. Not on commentary. The guys didn't mention it. None of that. Who strolls out here? AJ Styles, who, by the way, has not been participating in any tag team matches the last couple of months. I mean, have you guys seen him in tag team match? I'll say the only time I saw him in something that could be remotely called a tag team match was around Survivor Series. So how long ago was that?
Almost 4 months.
Okay. So him and Almost, did I say his name right? Almost?
Osmosis, as we call him.
Close enough, right?
I think you almost did.
Almost. So they just say, hey, we're going to come out here and we're going to challenge y'all for the Raw Tag Team titles just because Almost choke slammed Xavier Woods into the whatever that shit is in the Thunderdome weeks ago. And then this is the sweet part right here. This is the Bobby Lashley and MVP are in the back. They go backstage. Hey, Bobby got the match coming, blah, blah, blah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. MVP is the management / mouthpiece of the Hurt Business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is there no mention whatsoever about Sid and Shelton losing these titles or wanting their rematch?
Just tell you right now, Road to WrestleMania shouldn't even be called Fastlane after last night because it's filled with potholes, speed bumps, and black ice. Bad road conditions. You get where I'm going, right? This made zero sense whatsoever. For weeks, maybe months on end, I've been saying tag team division needs to be unified. We need one set of tag team champions. It prevents stuff like this because now people are just getting random title runs with no explanation whatsoever. And then, like you said, they go directly to AJ and Omos. Like, no time for, Sid and Sheldon to say, hey, you know what, we're pissed. We want a rematch. A minute later, AJ comes out. Like, I could understand if that was their, the Hurt Business was where the challenge was going into that match. Okay, whatever. That makes sense. But they lost their championships and they're in the back of the line. Like, I understood they put this edict out there that, there's no guaranteed rematch clauses anymore. Whatever. But, how many more times are we going to go back to status quo? And there's nothing necessarily against New Day, but it speaks to a lack of depth in the tag team division that they do this on the road to WrestleMania.
Right.
They shouldn't have did it at all, but it speaks to a lack of planning with the division. They're not, building up any other tag teams right now. So where do they go? Let's say AJ and Omos get the titles. Where do you go after that? I mean, nothing's making sense with the tag team division. They put little to no effort into the tag team division to build it up. That's how I feel about it. I mean, you're not doing anything with Ricochet. Why not turn Angel Garza and put them together or something? Gives fans two young, exciting wrestlers to potentially root for. I'm not saying they should get the title right away, but build up some other teams, basically. If they're not doing anything to build any other teams up, they have no choice to go back to New Day. So I'm not even mad at Xavier and Kobe. This is a VKM decision. Joe?
Okay, this is one of the things where I think we feel like this is just lazy on all ends of the spectrum. One, you just had the Hurt Business face Braun and Shane last week and almost lose the tag team championship. You have a 3-hour show where you're not building any storylines in the tag team division because either one, you don't believe in the depth of it, or you're just not putting forth the effort to, because we have no idea why the Hurt Business's main matches have been Lucha House Party. It's been New Day a couple of times, but it was more so just because of that. And then I can't name anybody else but Braun and a couple other people. You could have had a slow build to this to WrestleMania to do it. You could have made this a thing where they were constantly being attacked, like constantly building something with like, you know, something just epic where like the Hurt Business was beating up on New Day. New Day's beating up on the Hurt Business. Let's see who's the best. This, that, and the third. Some type of communication, but you did nothing. All you did was book them and say, hey, tonight you're going to lose because New Day's going to face AJ and Almas at WrestleMania. We've never seen Almas wrestle.
Never.
We've never seen him wrestle. We literally have never, ever seen him like do anything other than like tall people shit. Choke slam, chest chop. What do you think is gonna happen at Wrestle? Do you think he's always gonna turn the switch on? It's gonna be like one of the best WrestleMania moments? No. This was filler. If that was the case, if that's what you're setting up for in the first place, and with getting a storyline set up at this point with the tag team division, you have him continue to attack Kofi and Xavier. And just keep having them do it. And then finally one answers as to why you're doing it. Oh yeah, because AJ wants the tag team title. Boom! Simple stuff. You can do that in a 4-week span. That's not even like a month down the line. It's just piece by piece by piece by piece. There's not even anything for us to go over. Like there's nothing for us to process right now. Is the Hurt come back with a vengeance? No, they're not. They're not. Nothing's gonna happen. You're not gonna have the Hurt Business attack AJ and Almas or whatever, so they don't win the championship at WrestleMania. No. There's no storyline here because you don't invest in your talent, because you don't believe in your divisions, but yet you have so many belts and so many things, and you have a 3-hour show. It takes nothing but 2 minutes to tell a decent story about one thing a week, and then add an extra 10 minutes to a match, 15 minutes to a match or whatever, and just give us something. It doesn't matter if it's something that's we can sink our teeth into. We'll take it, but don't give us this shit and be like, oh well, you know, it's all good. And then you had MVP in the back talking about Drew. We already know Drew. Drew put the goddamn Hurt Lock on fucking Miz or whatever. We knew he was going to face WrestleMania. We knew that already. Get to this tag team division where you had Sheldon wrestling out of his mind. Out of his mind. Kicking butt. And then you had Cedric, who was actually doing pretty well in the match as well. Xavier and Kofi looked really good. You give these guys part 2 at the beginning of WrestleMania, and I guarantee you it's must-see TV. 20, 25 minutes, it's must-see TV. At that point, if they lose, and New Day becomes 11-time tag team champions, I respect that. That's great. That's great. That's awesome. But AJ just wants, he even said it in like a promo. He's like, I'm bored. I haven't been tag team champion, so I'm trying to do that right now. Get the fuck out of here. This is lazy, trash ass booking, and it's bullshit. Because they deserve to go to be tag. The Hurt Business deserves to go into WWE WrestleMania as tag team champions and world heavyweight champions. They deserve that. You've taken that away or whatever because you book lazy. You book like trash. It would be different if the Hurt Business won and then Almas came out there, beat up the dudes from New Day, and then all of a sudden, right when they were trying to shake his hand or whatever, he beats up the Hurt Business too. Because now you change the dynamic of things. Now it's not something predictable. Now you have a storyline to start off with. Now AJ can go potentially for his next title. And he could be the anti. He doesn't have to be the face. He's the anti. While they're the heels. Because it's going to be good match quality anyway. AJ versus Cedric is going to be amazing. I don't care what anyone says. That's just speed on. Sheldon can now be who he is and make the young bull Almas look good. But now you face him with the New Day. With Xavier and Kofi. And him looking dominant. And AJ probably coming out on top. Because who's going to knock Almas down? Not them. I'm going to say for them. But if you do the Hurt Business, guess what happens? You get interference from Bobby. You get interference from MVP. Or you get interference from Surprise. Boom. Guess who's in the Hurt Business? Keith Lee. Now we're talking about something interesting or whatever. Change the whole dynamic. But now the storylines and everything else they set for it, it's trash. I hate it.
And then another thing I'll add is why the divisions are split. if they weren't split and Her Business is the only tag team champions, say what you will, people might have thought they started them up too high on the card. Dominic Mysterio has not looked bad in any of his matches. You could have gave us said something against Dominic and Ray a little bit. I mean, we don't need to expect a title change, but I'd be interested in it to a degree. I'm not saying like I need to carry on for months, but you can give me that at a fast lane. You can give me Her Business against Street Profits. You can give me Her Business versus they're not a tag team anymore, but while they're building them, they kind of have them in this weird space. You could give me the Her Business against Shinsuke and Cesaro, so you turn them baby faces. Mm-hmm. If the division's not split, but once again, it is split. And okay, here's another option. Instead of going back to status quo, they haven't involved NXT at WrestleMania that often. You could have gave me the Her Business versus Ciampa and Thatcher.
Money.
Yeah. And just because you got great workers in all four of these guys. That was the match of the night on Raw, and we knew it was going to be a good match just because we really genuinely believed in it, and it was a really good and well done match. But then you ruined it. You didn't even give us time to process that AJ was coming out to be a tag team champion. Immediately after the Hurt won, his music hits. I'm sorry, New Day wins. His music hits immediately. Not even like, why is AJ out here? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, not even them, like, New Day getting a chance to be emotional about being 11-time tag team champions and touching the strap so many times. Not even a moment where it's like, just them celebrating or whatever, bringing out Big E and they all come out as champions. Nothing. You've given me nothing. Not one fucking thing. You give me AJ with Almas. I'm pretty sure we're saying his name wrong. I really don't. I'm sorry. Sorry, sir. I apologize, but I'm flabbergasted.
I'll do you one better. They could have, if they're going to sit and give New Day, if they were that desperate to get the titles on them for whatever reason, and they wanted them to have new opponents, whatever the reason may be. I'm just so frustrated with it because Her Business, honestly, is probably the best thing on Raw the last 5 months, honestly. But, they could have flipped the roles and with the stuff they were doing with Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, you could be doing that with AJ and Omos. And then you could have just get Miz and Morrison versus New Day or something. I don't know. Or you could just did a triple threat, Miz and Morrison, New Day, and Her Business if they're running out of tag teams. Until they're ready to build up another babyface tag team. That was just the wrong move to do that because it's like, where do you really go? Nobody's really, even if, I'll eat some crow if he does, but nobody's really expecting anything from Omos is what I'm saying and what I'm getting at. Where do you go from there anyway?
I mean, you're not going to get no Luchasaurus-esque performance out of him no way, so.
Hell no. Not even close. Hell no. You gonna get some regular schmegular big man shit with a choke slam.
Now, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. When Shawn Michaels introduced Diesel as his bodyguard, right? Because this is basically the role they got almost in. I hope I'm saying his name right. Diesel had some matches like prior to them like having a tag team championship match, any of that kind of stuff. Like they had some tag team matches prior to that, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Okay, so why in 2021 are we just randomly booking AJ and Omos against the New Day, who just won 4 weeks before WrestleMania? We got Fastlane. If anything, we're challenging y'all at Fastlane. Then Fastlane, guess who comes out? Her Business comes out. Hey, look, we didn't get our tag. We didn't get our rematch, man. Right. They come, interfere with the match, disqualification. Triple threat match, Her Business, New Day, AJ, and Omos.
Oh.
WrestleMania.
Oh. Honestly, don't know what was lazier on that part. That or Street Profits dropping into Rude and Ziggler, because nobody in their effing minds asked for that. If you're going to have them drop the titles, Street Profits, I mean, I know he just dropped the IC strap, but you could have put it on like Sammy or somebody.
And plus,
I mean, I know we've been burying the double champion thing, but hell, you would have gave me Tribal Chief and Jey Uso tag straps. I take that over fucking Ziggler and Rude.
I'll take that shit too. Give it back to the Street Profits. Stop this shit. Stop this whole thing with Ziggler and Rude. Stop it. Because you're not giving TV time to shine. You're not really pushing them to do anything other than be themselves. Stop it.
Yeah, this is just like two dudes that just like should have been single stars at some point, but they just never believed in them on the main roster fully. And now we're just going to put them in a weird space where they're the tag team champions and they're not doing anything with them, really. They put them in random 8-man tag matches. They're putting, better yet, put them in a random 8-man tag team matches, right? They're also putting them where Ziggler is randomly trying to qualify for Elimination Chamber. Or whatever the hell that was with Cesaro and all. Like, what the fuck is going on?
What are you doing? One, I like the idea of you using I'm gonna say her name wrong. As a GM.
Oh, Sonya Deville.
Sonya Deville as a GM. Big Daddy Deville. Wait, she been WCW? Never mind.
Yeah, she had.
Okay.
No, has she?
Well, every time I say no, I think I say no. That's a good transition, though.
It is, but real quick, it just
go ahead.
Just trash. Like I was the one that always fought and was like, no, there shouldn't be a division where there's different tactics. But now I'm like, just unify it because you ain't gonna do shit with it. Just unify it. Fuck it, unify it.
That's personally where I thought we was headed. I thought we were headed toward a unification match at WrestleMania.
There doesn't need to be two sets of champions except for IC and US because it gets more chances for people to have single feuds in the mid card. But I don't need two sets of tag champions for the men. I don't need two world champions. I don't need two women's singles champions. Unify the women into one, because that's why the women are getting these repetitive ass feuds right now too.
Right.
And they haven't had a single compelling tag team feud. The best tag team feud they've had for the titles might have been Nikki Cross and Alexa versus Bayley and Sasha. That might have been the best one they've had. They haven't really had a relevant feud for the tag titles where like you could sink your teeth into it. They could have done more with. If it was NXT, they could have did more with Kabuki Warriors and Becky and Charlotte. They could have torn the house down if it was NXT. That shouldn't have been a TLC match. That's neither here nor there though. Let's get back into the positive vibes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna cue my own music. WMUA 95.5. Sorry, my voice is going out.
Use the music and change the music and change it all. Our WCW goes to a young lady by the name of AQA. And I know what you're wondering. What does that mean? It's just her first name, middle initial, and her last name. Boom. Yeah. She's officially signed to NXT, where she's currently wrestling with WWE. She was actually trained by Booker T. I have seen her in a couple of matches for Shimmer, and she's always been a standout, very athletic, very smart. Young, 22 years young. Like, God, do I feel old. But at this point, I think she has wrestled with such people as like Tessa Blanchard, Kiera Hogan, Kylie Ray, and also Shotzi Blackheart, who is so big. I love Shotzi. And then she was, like I said before, she's been wrestling since she was 10 years old. So she's been doing this for like a while. But she's been amazing. She's been phenomenal throughout the whole thing. And I'm a huge fan of her. And I'm really excited to see what she does at NXT. Hopefully they utilize her well. And they utilize her in the best fit. And WCW music is over with. But yeah, but AQA is pretty dope, bro. She's pretty dope. I'm a fan. So, let's go. That's it. That's all.
King. But one hot topic of the last week was Andrade requesting his release from WWE, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what they're doing with him. He was easily one of the more underrated wrestlers when he got called up. They've been all over the place. This whole thing with, hey, we got to keep the couples together, I think they kind of screwed Andrade from a standpoint that there would be better feuds for him on SmackDown. He might not have gotten lost in the shuffle where he's doing this weird tag team thing with Angel Garza. We could have gotten, because especially his unselfishness where he's just like putting guys over. You could have gotten DB and Andrade. I think it would have been amazing. You could have gave us Andrade and KO. Well, KO was still on Raw, my mistake. But when Riddle got called up, we could have had that. That could have been Riddle's first feud. They never touched, had each other, a feud against each other down in NXT. There's so much more possibilities, I feel like it was on SmackDown. And that's not always the answer for everyone, SmackDown or NXT. But I just felt like as a singles competitor, it would have had more direction, more what's the word I'm looking for? Just more fresh faces for him to go up against. Chad Gable, I would thought that could have been a good lower mid-card feud while they were building Andrade up. What do you guys think as far as potential of Andrade, because I heard they're not going to grant his release. Trying to keep Charlotte happy. Ric Flair's entitled shoehorn Charlotte daughter,
I don't think it really matters at this point. I think he's screwed either way. If they're fans releasing him, job him out. If they do grant a 98 clause and they're going to beg him not to sign with AEW, he probably is. If I was him, I would go to Impact, develop my character, and come out there and swing and destroy some stuff. But I look forward to it, but I just feel like they just really ruined the whole concept of his growth. Like, he had that high where he had one of the best matches against Johnny Gargano. It was one of the best takeover matches ever in the history of takeover. I would say probably top 10 matches on takeover. But they underutilized him. He then had great matches with Rey Mysterio, and they underutilized him again. And then he makes seem like the Hurt Business and all those guys seem viable when you beat him and you put him with good competition. So it's very sad. But what you think, Old Man
Logan? How about we start here, and they brought him up too soon. They just didn't utilize him properly. We got a couple of good matches between him and Rey Mysterio on SmackDown, while both of these guys were still on SmackDown. And that's what really highlighted him. I think that probably put him on Vince's radar. And Vince was like, yo, need him on Raw. But you just kept doing things to handicap him. You put him with Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega, him, and Angel Garza were showing a lot of promise as a stable. They were getting over. Why wouldn't they get over? They were, high-flying luchador-esque, it's just great wrestling all across the board. You put Austin Theory with him for a cup of coffee, whatever. But by and large, he was over. He was over in NXT. And then it just got dismal. They didn't know what to do with him. Air quotations. I think, guys, and I think that's why you end up with scenarios, not to change the subject, but that's why you end up with, yet again, another pair of tag team titles in NXT, where it's like, hey, you know what? You're not letting me do what I need to do for the company as a whole, so I'm going to do what I need to do for the company with this particular brand. And that's why NXT is the best fucking brand that WWE has right now. Guys like Andrade, guys like Aleister Black, guys like Ricochet, guys like, hell, Bo Dallas. They all thrived in NXT. Why is that? Why is it that all of these people thrive in NXT, then you call them up prematurely, or you call them up and you just don't know what to do with them, and they just kind of fall by the wayside? Why is that? I'll tell you why. You're doing it too prim. You just, hey, just give me this piece. I'm going to utilize this to drag people in and not utilize it properly. Same thing's happening with Keith Lee right now. It's a travesty what's happening with Keith Lee right now. I heard he's supposed to be injured. Okay, if he's legit injured, cool. But you had zero plans which is what happened with Andrade, what's happening with him. Riddle, at least right now, Riddle look like we got somewhat of a plan going on. But yeah, I think that's just what this is a result of. So I think the only bright spot of this is his girlfriend is Charlotte Flair. And you don't want Charlotte Flair getting unhappy, because she gets unhappy. She goes to an Impact. She goes to a AEW. Guess what? That raises the bar over there for them, no pun intended. And I already saw Carl Anderson from the Good Brothers sending that tweet out. He said, hey, brother, come on with it. Come on to Impact. So it just remains to be seen what happens, but it's unfortunate, man. It's a great talent just going to waste.
Yeah, and then even the addition of the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, I thought that was lazy booking on their part too, because it's just like, instead of putting the championships on an NXT tag team, hey, you know what, we're just going to give them tag team titles. No, the problem is they didn't want the NXT women to come to the main roster and outshining the tag teams, or quote unquote tag teams on the main roster. That's why you keep getting these makeshift tag teams on the main roster, and they know Dakota and Raquel Gonzalez are going to drag their ass on the main roster. They don't want to. They don't want to get in the ring with them, because other than Sasha and Bayley, they're going to be like, they're not going to keep up with them. I'm just going to point out, say it. I said it. That's why we're the Hot Take Podcast. You could say it, you could add me, whatever. They're not going to keep up with Shotzi and Ember Moon. Nobody on the main roster outside of Sasha and Bayley as a tag team.
Right.
Because they don't have the chemistry. Because they're just makeshift tag teams on the main roster. Oh, but you know what? We're just going to give them tag team titles. And now you're potentially, and you know what? They'll knock them out of the park, because it's kind of screwing NXT, because they don't have a lot of tag teams to keep the tag teams. I did say they should just give the titles to an NXT tag team. But with that being said, I would like to see them, still on all three brands, because the problem was they weren't doing that. But we'll see if they do that. That being said, are we ready for the Golden Shovel? Or did we miss anything?
I don't think we missed anything other than, we brought up the fact that NXT now has women tag team titles. Before we do, what do you guys think about that? Because me personally, while I understand it, at the same time, I don't think it's the right move, because they got one set of tag titles already that wasn't being utilized properly. And while you just said it, KG, like, they don't want Dakota and Raquel coming up there just making them look bad, and because that's what they're going to do, because all of these teams are made up. There's no chemistry. They don't have no time to really gel for real. So it frustrated me, man. Like, I get why they're being created specifically for NXT, but it was just like, yo, this is so unnecessary. All we have to do is utilize the tag titles that are in place correctly now.
Yeah, that's all I think I was asking for. Because, like I said, those teams, hell, even, she needs a little bit more seasoning under her, but, just having that veteran, I'm not saying they're going to get the titles right away, but, a Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. The few times I've seen them in the tag, they have more chemistry than a lot of the teams on the main roster. It's not just me slobbering on NXT and, jog riding them, but it's what I see. It's hard pressed to say otherwise from my perspective.
I agree.
Nikki and Alexa had good chemistry, but they're not a team anymore. That's why I'm like, obviously Sasha and Bayley aren't a team anymore. But it's like, the main roster, when they get momentum, they'll split these teams up. Like, they split up Sonya and Mandy just because VKM and his weird fixation, I'm just going to put the two blondes together that have sex appeal.
Why, bro? Like, why? Like, listen, Dana Brooks deserving of, like, more development and everything else, and she's been getting better, but, like, bro, like, come on. Like, you're not going to bring up Dakota and Raquel Gonzalez, one, because they're students of the game and they know their shit, and you're not going to respect that shit because you don't get it, bro. Like, to me, the reason why NXT thrives is because when you get to NXT, you're working consistently and you about that work. You about getting to the next level. That's why it works so well. Triple H makes sure you're focused. He's not doing hokey, stupid shit like The machine is. It just. Who wants to go show? Somebody else go. I'm not going first for Gold Show.
I mean, but that was his thought process. And like Joe said, Dana's definitely worked hard and she has improved. But that's his effed up thought process. I'm gonna put the two hot blondes together because it's more marketable. You legit split up a team that was together since they got brought up. They were getting better as a team for no effing reason. And now you're back to have that. It weakens the division by doing that. Oh, but it's okay. I'm just gonna put it on. We're just gonna put it on Dwayne's cousin. Yeah. Like they put it on. You could. So fucking lazy.
He's dressing the sommelier, which I have no idea why that's a thing. So we'll see how that's.
So fucking lazy.
It is, man. It's no other way to put it but lazy. Because, all right, so now we have a distinct line drawn. There's the NXT women's roster, and then there's the main roster now, right?
Why?
I don't even think the main roster has as many women as the NXT roster does. Seriously.
But why are they splitting up legit tag teams like Sonya and Mandy? You're gonna put in a makeshift team that nobody asked for. You took the titles off the best women's tag team champions they've had by far, Bayley and Sasha. Hell, you could. I would go as far as to say they were one of the 10 best tag teams, gender aside, last year. The stuff they were doing on both brands. You take it off them, you put it on a team that nobody can ask for. And it was a heel team at that. You went from heel to heel for no explanation whatsoever. You didn't give it to, if they call, I'm trying to think of somebody you didn't give it to the Riot Squad, who's been another team that's been together. You could have gave us Ruby and Liv. What are you doing with them? Nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if they split them up again.
Because they're hella deserving. Riot Squad is hella deserving. And they haven't even gotten they haven't gotten a sniff in any other tag team. They haven't had one tag team match.
The Riot Squad just get drafted to NXT during the next draft?
That would be awesome.
Please, that would be. Do that because either role down there, they'd be fine. They're likable enough to me. They could be the baby faces. So I don't even need to see them as heels either. Yeah, just do something with them, please, because that was just. I'll go one step further. They were so desperate to get this. What was the need to get that would have meant more for the titles if you gave Sasha and Bayley. They would have had it for almost a year. That could have been their WrestleMania moment. You could have kept it on Sasha and Bayley and had them drop it to the Riot Squad. What was the rush to get that match? That was a great Hell in a Cell match. Don't get me wrong, but what was the rush to get the titles off of them with the work they were doing as a tag team? As opposed to keeping it on them until WrestleMania 37 and then having them drop to the Riot Squad.
Here we go. Because Dean and Bruce Pritchard were bored. They need to develop a story. They need to put their hands on it. And
have a headache.
They were bored. So therefore,
I don't know if it's necessarily Bruce, man. I know Bruce is Vince's guy, but I think he has things on track, and then he just allows Vince to come and have his say, and then he just alters things from what Vince is saying.
But if they wanted a powerhouse tag team, granted she's getting a more prominent spot now. You could have kept it on Bayley and Sasha. You could have gave me Rhea and Bianca Belair as tag champs. I mean, if you want a powerhouse team, I'd much rather see them than fucking Shayna and Nia.
Let's give us a good fucking story. That's kind of the reason why people from the Attitude Era don't like this era. Even when there was nobody winning a championship or anything else, there were storylines. Like when Val Venus almost got his penis cut off by Kai and Tai because he slept with Taka Michinoku's sister or whatever, and they were gonna cut off his pee-pee. But he wasn't even Intercontinental Champion or anything. But the story was good. We didn't care about that. That's why when we get to stuff like this, with championships and everything else, ain't no story. We don't get it. It's stupid.
here's the thing too, and I think I don't even. And it sounds like I keep saying Shayna Nyers and Shayna's the problem. Shayna's not the problem, ladies and gentlemen. If you watch this show, you know what the problem is on my end. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go full Jim Cornette. You could have gave us Sonya and Shayna. If you're in two legit competitors with MMA backgrounds who just look like they could beat the crap out of you. And both good workers.
Good ass workers. And they all work.
How about Shayna had a stable?
She did, but I don't know if I was going to mention Jessamine and Marina, but
what happened to that? This is my point. What do we do? Okay, somebody go. Man.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't even do it.
I mean, I'll set it off, man, this week. We're assuming this Vince, but we know who's the head of, Raw Creative. And Raw Creative, for that booking on that tag team match, you're getting the golden shovel. I'm sorry. You literally, you ruined a great match. Ain't no other way to put it. None of that stuff made sense. That ending made 0 sense. They had a great match out there, left it all on the mat, as they like to say. And my head is off. And I don't want this to come off as, hey, I'm hating Xavier and Kofi. This is not New Day hate. New Day is New Day. You know what I mean? I did the intro, Big E style. So this isn't hate toward them. They just doing their job. Same way, her business had to do their job. But who's to say that probably wasn't why they put a little more spice on the match? Make sure it was a great match, because they knew they were getting jagged out of their WrestleMania moment. Her business have evolved into a premier stable, and they need to be booked as a premier stable, much like how Evolution was. This is a great stable, and now these guys were headed towards a WrestleMania moment that was going to make them stars. I mean, Shelton's already established, but this was going to really make Seth a star, getting this prominent role at WrestleMania. And now that's potentially jacked from him. So Golden Shovel from Old Man Logan this week goes to WWE Creative that came up with that trash-ass booking for the tag titles going into WrestleMania. I would have much rather seen AJ go after Matt Riddle, and maybe you have Braun Strowman kind of be his backup, almost, and that's how you do that. You know what I mean? Instead of Shane and Braun, look like that's where we headed for WrestleMania. And that's not against Shane, because Shane does what he does at WrestleMania too. But yeah, so that's my golden shovel. Shovel it up.
I like that. My golden shovel goes to AEW.
Oh.
For just consistency. Like, you have a great match with the barbed wire match, and then, as KG said, the fireworks go off like it's somebody's entrance all together. Like, it's like nothing in the ring. Spoilers, sorry. The match ends. They beat up Jon Moxley very handily. They have a countdown, and Eddie Kingston runs out and covers over Jon Moxley. Just like lies on him ever so gently across his face. And pause. And this is what blows up. The turnbuckles on the outside blow up. Fireworks goes off on the stage, which I have no fucking idea why that even matters. And then, like, that's it. Like, that's like nothing in there in the ring that was like chaotic, where it was like one of those things where, like, at least if you're gonna make it somatic or whatever, something like that, or just do something along those lines. Like, one thing blows up and it gets like too close. Okay, fine. We know the risk. like nothing. You're not giving me like the old Shawn Michaels pyro when he used to walk in the ring. You're not giving me nothing where there's like firecrackers going off. Everything outside the ring blows up, and then you make it a big deal as if something blew up. And come on, you guys are better than that. You guys are way better than that. You guys know better than that. AEW gets my golden shovel. Shovel it up.
Still in that same vein, AEW commentators. Please stop calling everyone the greatest this, the greatest that, just because they're affiliated with the company. You called Shaq the greatest big man in NBA history. Yeah, just because he wrestled Cody Rhodes. So, all due respect to Shaq, you are easily one of the top 5 centers of all time. Shaq is not better than Hakeem Olajuwon. We saw that story. If we played out on wrestling, it would have been the golden shovel. Seriously. He got dragged like Darby Allin got dragged by Team Taz in the NBA Finals. He's not better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Don't give me... You called Big Show the greatest big man in wrestling. I'm sorry. Did Undertaker is a figment of my imagination? This Big Van Vader, God rest his soul. Oh, he didn't exist. He didn't have these clashes with Ric Flair and Sting. That was just a figment of our imagination too. Greatest big man ever. You called, and he's earned that. And John Moxley, Omega arguably is one of the greatest in the world and is an in-ring performer. John Moxley, as much as I like the guy, you said the 2 best wrestlers in the world. You really want to hold on to that. When you got Kota Ibushi out there, you got Will Ospreay, you got Kazuchika Okada. Sorry if I butchered your name. I'll try to say that again. Kazuchika Okada. There we go. Probably still butchered it. Ray Phoenix, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole. The list goes on. Don't tell me John Moxley is a better wrestler than them just because he's competing for your world championship.
Gotta make Moxley look strong, man. You know.
Gotta put the big dog over, make the big dog look strong.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, just stop with the greatest everything just because they're affiliated with your company.
Yeah, stop that.
Oh, and while I'm at it, no, they'll save it for another one. We'll save that one.
You gotta save these golden shovels because we don't want to sound like haters.
Oh, man, it stopped being marked for its star ratings from Dave Meltzer and mentioning it on commentary. How many star ratings your matches got?
That's funny. No, sorry, that was funny. All right. That's all I got, man. That's all I got.
I am glad we did get an AEW golden shovel this week, though, because people were starting to think we were AEW marks.
Really? That's surprising.
Or whether me, rather, because you guys weren't commenting on that post that I got some flack on a couple weeks ago. But yeah.
And by the way, look, it's called Hot Take Wrestling Podcast for a reason. We not finna conform for y'all. Listen. We don't give a fuck what y'all think about us. And if you want to be honest with you, wrestling folks, we don't fuck about that. Y'all not gonna fight us. You're not gonna come to the West Side. You ain't gonna come see us. You can make a comment on the post and shit, but it really don't make a fucking difference. Like, this is like, at least in this like area right now, at least 30 years of us watching wrestling in total. I've watched it probably for like 10 or 12. Probably since we was in diapers and babies. You know what I'm saying? Like, we watched this shit. Like, we like what we fucking like. Our opinion is not law and it's not like what we think to be valid or whatever. It's our fucking opinion. Your job is to comment on it and say what you say. But if you make it like a real, like, serious thing, what are you doing? Don't show up in the comments talking shit. We don't mind you talking shit. That's cool. But when we talk shit back, don't get mad at us. You poke the bear. That goes for all you cheering that's like 12 years old that started watching wrestling, thinking John Cena is the greatest wrestler of all time. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. Gold shovel goes to y'all ass. Fuck you mean? What's wrong with you? I'm a grown. I have a beard and crazy hair. I don't care about why you think John Cena is the GOAT and why you think we're AEW marks. AEW is fresh and it's new. WWE is giving us old bullshit that's recycled stories from other promotions and not even giving us good stories. Bruce Pritchard is trash. BKM is trash. I said it. Fight me, motherfucker. At Joe Freeline, 3 lowercase i's.
Fuck out
of here.
It's not our fault that WWE Raw gives us they give us dry pancakes with no syrup. They ain't put no butter in the skillet. No oil. It's like it is threw the flapjacks in there.
Right. It's like you prepared this whole breakfast meal, this whole big ass breakfast, and you're like, you know what? I don't want you to eat this right now. Okay, then what the fuck you making for? Like, let's go get the fuck out of here. It's stupid. No.
They burn the bacon.
Shit. We want
they ain't put no season on the eggs.
No, we want the smoke.
They give right. We want the smoke, literally. We want some flavor.
You're right. We want the smoke. I want you. Listen, WWE Creative, come see me. I want to hear why half of the stuff you've written has not fermented into something decent. At least 75% of your things on Raw fall flat. For example, when are we going to see the Fiend? Because I am almost at the point where I know where Randy Orton's going to throw up. I already know it. Why, oh why, are we having these consistent inconsistencies with our storylines? Why is Retribution still a thing? Why is that still a fucking thing?
It's on his way out, though. You saw Dijak is growing his hair back.
Yeah, because he know better. You better feast your eyes. He better get his shit back together. He better have these epic. He needs to go back to NXT too.
I'll take him on. I'll take him on SmackDown though.
Hell yeah. But please look, man. Go hire Eric Bischoff and put Paul Heyman back there with creative, please. I would greatly appreciate it if you would actually give them creativity and let them oversee and produce these shows, please. Please stop letting Bruce Pritchard. Don't let Brother Love touch nothing else. Brother Love leave that shit alone. He done.
Yeah, because WWE Raw giving us day old grits right now. That's what we're getting from them. No butter. No.
WWE is giving us grits with sugar. What's wrong with you?
We ain't getting no cheese grits. We ain't getting no type of love.
Oh, we got. You give me eggs with cheese and the eggs are runny. What's wrong with you? Don't you care? Don't you care? Like
they're giving us Aldi brand cereal right now.
Right.
So, the soggy joints. Right. So we put a little milk in it.
Shredded frosted wheat. What the fuck? I don't want this shit. Listen. You gave me from 1996 to about. When was the Summer of Punk?
2011.
2011. Quality stuff. That's a good time. That's a good time of stuff. Okay? I rode for you. I fought for you. I watched you instead of watching cool ass WCW with NWO. And now you giving me shit because ain't no competition. Oh, fuck you. No, come on. Get to work. No, give me good shit still. Don't do that.
For real. Because the main roster's best show, like that first year they did the brand split 2016, SmackDown was damn good show. But ever since, SmackDown's been fine for the most part. They're consistent. Like, hasn't been as good as 2016, but it's been consistent in comparison to Raw. I mean,
but it's SmackDown.
Monday Night Raw's Ice House beer.
Yeah. Monday Night Raw's Keystone, for real. Monday Night Raw's Keystone.
It's old style.
It's like old style beer.
Monday Night Raw's backwash 40 ounces.
Monday Night Raw not by itself. Like Monday Night Raw.
Oh guys, we've done like 2 or 3 golden shovels now. Oh, I can't help it though. But this is for the people that send referencing. I hope y'all enjoy it.
Right.
y'all get mad, like Joe said. Y'all not gonna really do nothing for real, for real.
Y'all ain't gonna take. Okay, you know what? Here's what we'll do. Tag WWE to this portion. This is what we'll do. We'll put this shit up. Tag WWE, and I bet you they don't say shit.
They won't. I think I tagged them in this shit yesterday. No, was that today? I posted. Yeah, today I posted it about her business.
Because they don't care. You guys, they're hiring like Hollywood talented writers to write this stuff that know nothing about wrestling. They're not hiring people that are like know of wrestling and know the wrestling industry. You're hiring writers, playwrights, motherfuckers that do Broadway theater shit or whatever. Now you're
right.
USA has asked you to bring back things more along the lines of the Attitude Era. Y'all better find Russo, bro. Y'all better find Russo and hope he still want to write for y'all ass. Like that's the only way it's gonna save y'all at this point. Because if AEW get cooking with New Japan and Impact and Ring of Honor, it's too much talent, and y'all ain't gonna be able to survive it. If Will Ospreay get to be on TV once a week, it's a wrap for y'all.
All I gotta say is, we'll leave WWE alone when Jinder gets his picture with Triple H.
TikTok.
That's all I gotta say. Give Jinder his flowers.
Don't.
We got a list of demands. Give Jinder his flowers. Give Jinder his picture.
Right.
Give the Riot Squad a tag team title run. Do something with Ricochet.
Put China.
Good grief.
Put China.
Yeah, definitely. Put Vader in the Hall of Fame. We got a list of demands.
Goddamn. We got a list of demands. They ain't gonna be met.
Don't ever put another championship on Nia Jax.
Ever again until she learns how to wrestle for real. And that's some real shit. Like that's just real. That's just for safety precautions. Because
stop rewarding people. Right, exactly. Go ahead. I kind of cut you off. Go ahead.
No, stop rewarding status and not for how good they are. And somebody give Ricochet a major title around the WWE Championship, please. This is stupid. This is dumb. Drew versus Ricochet. Bobby Lashley versus Ricochet would be amazing. Hell, the Tribal Tree versus Ricochet, that might even be a good match too. Okay.
Oh man.
All the things. Come on, bro. Don't do this shit. Stop doing this shit, bro. If you're not, then put him back in NXT and let him be used somewhere else, man. Stop being this decrepit, old ass fogey. You an old fogey, and you understand that, don't you, McSheen? You an old fogey, bro. Like, stop. Don't do this shit to yourself. You're a billionaire. Go sit down and count your billions. Go sleep somewhere. Take your Viagra and have sex with Linda and leave us alone. Stop this shit. I'm done now.
Oh, and the last demand, as I've already said, acknowledge Joe Biden as your commander in chief. He's the head of the table. Take the family. Take a picture with him at the White House. Give him his flowers. His WWE championship belt. Everybody else get a championship belt.
And last thing.
All right, I'm sorry.
Last thing. Shane McMahon, I think the biggest title he won was European Championship, right? Was that the biggest one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to add.
Wait, no, he wasn't Intercontinental champ.
I don't think so. Gosh, no, I hope not. Granted, there was a lot of random people touching that title at the time, but
listen, stop trying to add to his legacy by making him fight like Undertaker, the Big Show, and making him the best. Stop adding to his he's not the best in the world. You're doing that because the one guy you didn't think was going to get over got over. You pushed him. You fucked him up physically. You had bad ideas for him, whatever, and you screwed him. You screwed him royally by not giving him the main event at WrestleMania when he was deserving. Because for 2 or 3 years, he was your top seller in all your merch sales. He was either booed or loved throughout the whole thing. We all know the chance in Chicago. I don't even want to go there in the first place, but you screwed that man. And now, and I hope when the time comes, when he's really done wrestling, that you put him in the Hall of Fame and acknowledge the fact that you guys are fucking assholes and you screwed him. You screwed him too. Stop with the hokey bullshit. Stop giving us these bullshit ass storylines with motherfuckers that are talented that can actually do something. Why the fuck is Mia Yim not even in like the fucking division and she's actually had decent matches and she does need work too? Why the fuck are you using the guy from that little Aussie tag team and he's actually talented? And Dominic Dijakovic had probably one of the best matches with Keith Lee and you're putting him as T-Bar and that shit. You're using Mustafa Ali, who's talented, At the same time, is he better than Ricochet? No. Is it close? No. Stop this. All right, stop this. Right now. Cut it out.
I'm trying to understand, and two, how did Retribution go from like 15 people to like 5?
Like 4 fucking people.
Bad writing.
Because remember, they took over the whole show. They needed the whole roster to clear them out. And now they have 5 people. Like,
bad writing, man.
Just give Cesaro a legitimate title and I'll leave you alone. I promise you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I almost kind of given up on it. That's why I kind of forget. Because that man hasn't had a single championship in almost 9 years.
Well, maybe he'll get the match with Seth at Mania and he'll get that W and that'll start him on his way. Maybe around SummerSlam. I got hope. I got hope for Cesaro.
It's more than I got. That's all I got, man.
I know, man. Nope. That we hope for something. They haven't given us nothing since they gave us since Daniel Bryan had a good ass match with Triple H.
And they gave me what I wanted. Bobby Lashley's champion. Him and Drew are getting ready to do what they did in Impact again.
Burn it down. They're finna burn it. They're finna
so,
fire. Because that match.
They're finally utilizing him, minus storylines about his sister raising him. And
yeah, that's what's called and the Acclaimed.
Yeah. So
that's the Bruce Pritchard Vince shit. I'm telling you, but like that's the shit we talk about. Why? Oh, why with that music? And then we're going to Bobby Lashley's sisters, and then he's gonna get mad.
Yeah, they need to stop bringing people. They need to stop trying to recreate the Rock and Foley segment. That's what they keep doing with these. We're bringing back your past. It didn't work with Bayley and Alexa Bliss. It didn't work with Lashley and Sam. Just stop. You're burying your talent when you do this stuff. Unless you're gonna get better actors.
Because it's actually like if you would just sit down and actually write something meaningful along the lines of a storyline, we would not be so adamant about telling you every week how much you suck. Because then we sound like haters. And then we sound crazy. But we're not crazy. Your numbers are down because your show and your product is trash.
One last thing. Stop calling everything the main event of WrestleMania. Yeah. There's one main event.
Not ding dong.
There's one main event. Unless you're going to have multiple matches going on simultaneously that are going to end at the same time, there's one main event. You're going to do a split screen. You know, they got 2 networks now. They got Peacock and WWE Network. Well, maybe you are going to get 2 main events at once.
Do we need to cancel our network subscription?
I don't know. I got 3 cards, so I had ordered like a year's worth of subscription cards, so I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah.
I'm going to lie and say I live in India or something. I'm part of that 1.3 billion that Jinder was talking about that he had in his back.
Right.
Even though he's from Canada.
Yeah, because I was wondering that. Do we need to cancel our subscription, or are they going to cancel it, or?
Matter of fact, it says WWE is coming to Peacock March 18th. Oh, that's tomorrow.
Yeah. No, in 2 days.
They said you can watch it on both, though.
Today's 3/16. Happy 3/16, by the way, guys.
I should have ordered some IPAs. Of course, I don't know if that's worth the price, though, to have them shipped all the way from Cali.
Right.
Yeah, but no, that's my last rant for real, though. They need to stop with that whole the main event of WrestleMania. There's one main event. Just like confusing the fans, first of all. Because like, what if somebody legit thought that every time they say that, and they're legitimately thinking like, okay, I got time to kill. They're not going to put Sasha and Bianca until last. And like they end up missing that match because they probably going to end up putting them in the middle of the card. Now, I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised they open with Drew and Bobby. It's not a good spot, but it's a good, like, it sets the tone for the night, though, depending on what they let them do. Because they're calling that the main event, too, and that's not going to be the main event. We know it's going to be Tribal Chief and Edge.
Let that be the main event of night 1. I'll give it 9.
Oh, it is a 2-night thing. You're right. There might be them. Oh, maybe that's. Oh, so there you go. So maybe, but they do that every year. You know what I mean? They said like Edge and Del Rio are the main event of WrestleMania, and they were the opener. So yeah, just stop at the main event because by definition, that's not possible to have that many main events.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We finally got to you. Our apologies for not recording last week. Life happens, you know what I mean? So make sure you tune in. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Like, share, and subscribe. We are on SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, so many other streaming platforms. I can't keep up anymore. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and hit that notification button. Leave some comments. Shout out to the guys, Henry Wrestling, Dirty Heels. It's a couple other ones, man. That we got a couple of them that just kind of let us in their inner circle, if you will.
Black Wrestling Alliance.
Black Wrestling Alliance. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all of y'all. We definitely appreciate the love and support. And y'all keep tuning in, man. And we're going to keep churning these out. So up next for us in a couple of days, we're going to give you guys our Fastlane predictions episode. And from there, we'll finally try to hook up with Sir William and Sir Phil and have a recap episode for Fastlane so they can finally start contributing to this audio greatness that we deliver you guys mostly weekly.
For the most part.
All right, so let's see, Joe. I don't know where we're going to end with the music. You figure that out. But let's go and end this. Not there. Not here. But right there. TikTok. Boom. Thanks for listening to the Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. The Hot Take Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by the NMG Network, a division of NMG Enterprises, LLC.
Ain't nobody really than Gorilla. Ain't nobody really than Gorilla. Gorilla tactics. Whoa.